Hey, be a squid and subscribe to my mediocrity.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Trash or Treasure featuring the Kintsugi armor set. It sounds incredibly fucking racist, but that's what they went with. This is definitely one of the ugliest armor sets in the game, and the name is just like, it's like some white guy just came up and was like, yo, what if we just name it Kintsugi? It is a weird one. So we are also going to be talking about the Marble Shield as well as Brand, one of the more interesting weapons in the game that you actually have to spend a large sum of money just to even obtain, and then you also have to craft it, and you have to go to each region to pick up the materials to even get close to obtaining this weapon. So it is definitely a special treasure, which we will discuss whether or not it will remain and be called that. So focusing on the armor set first, the Kintsugi boots and the whole armor set is a heavy armor set. As you can tell, it is one of the goddamn heaviest armor sets in the game. The chest piece alone is 21 fucking pounds. Dear Lord, that is heavy. So we're going to start with the boots here. We've got 2 protection, 18 resistance, impact resistance is 17, minus or plus 4% actually to stamina cost, and minus 9% movement speed. And then that gets basically amplified by another couple percentage here for the chest piece, which is 3 protection, 26 resistance, 30 impact resistance, minus hot weather defense, which is rather shitty, but hey, I guess. Then we also get the plus 8 to the stamina cost and minus 11% movement speed. And then for the helmet, it's kind of just, it gets even more shittier because this is not going to be a very useful mana build because you're getting that plus 50% to your mana cost. So if you are trying to run a mage build with the Kintsugi armor, you are going to have a shitty time because the helmet is going to hold you back so far that it's not good. So overall, the Kintsugi armor, in my personal opinion, offers a shit ton of protection, but that's kind of it. You're not getting a lot of resistances here to anything specific. It's mainly a physical protection armor set. There are, I believe, better heavy armor sets out there, in my personal opinion, but this one is still pretty substantial in terms of physical protection. If you're just kind of fighting bandits, or, you know, you're fighting just these things without any elemental powers on the side, this armor set will get the job done, and you won't really have to worry too much about getting hit by, this dude hit me with a sword. It's just gonna be a little nick in your armor. It's a pretty heavy, substantial set, and you're really not gonna find much heavier than this. Moving over to the Marble Shield, which is one of the better tower shields in my personal opinion. The tower shield is pretty shitty. Only offering like 16 damage, I believe, and then this one offers a whopping 32, and then you also get the 51 impact, and not to mention, this also inflicts confusion if you have shield charge equipped. So this is a pretty damn good shield if you are trying to run a shield build. It's pretty fucking heavy, not to mention you get that confusion inflicted onto your enemies. If you pair this with abilities that capitalize on anything that involves, you know, inflicting that kind of damage, then you're gonna do a pretty good amount of damage here. So this shield, one of the better ones. Highly recommend that if you're gonna start out with a shield build, this is gonna be one that you're gonna be looking for because it offers probably more than most other shields, at least in terms of just, you know, finding this thing out there. There are craftable shields that I would say offer a bit more, but just from finding this shield out in the wild, I'd say it's still pretty good. Now to the star of the show, Brand. This weapon is incredibly hard to get because all of the items are extremely expensive, and you have to craft the weapon with those items. You only need 3 items, but you have to go to each area to obtain it. The first is over by the Mana Mountain at the very tippity top. You gotta pull the sword from the stone, and then you gotta head over to Enmerkar Forest, talk to the blacksmith, and you have to purchase the hammer from the blacksmith, which I believe is what, 800 or 300 or something like that. I don't know. It's a pretty substantial sum of money, which you'll have to, you know, figure out how you want to get that bread. And then you're going to want to go over to Levant, which is you're going to talk to the alchemist there, which you're going to have to purchase a broken vial or something like that. and that's gonna run you a shit ton of money there as well. So there's just a few things you're gonna have to pick up before you craft brand, but once you do, you're getting this pretty decent one-hander with 18 damage, with 18 frost damage, which, by the way, there's not really a whole lot in the game that's doing frost damage. You got the frozen chakram, the ice crown mace, I believe you have brand. I don't think there's much else. On top of that, it also inflicts pain and chill, which is pretty damn good for slowing enemies, and if you have abilities that capitalize off of pain, you're going to be doing a decent bit. I think brand is one of the more unique weapons in the game and is probably 100% a treasure through and through. It offers quite a bit of variety. You're getting that frost damage, you get that slow chill, and you also get pain on enemies. I mean, that's a package right there. So let's go ahead and conclude today's video. So the Kintsugi armor, I'm gonna say, is a treasure. It may not be offering much in resistance, but I cannot deny that it is offering a shit ton of protection to physical damage. So if you are just fighting normal things, and I would say in terms of a beginner heavy type armor set, this will get the job done. It's not trash by any means. There's no way. It has a practical use, and definitely even fighting some elementals that do a lot of damage with lightning or whatever, it may not protect against it, but you are going to have a lot of physical protection, so it still does the job well. So calling it trash would just kind of not do the armor justice. And as far as the marble shield goes, I'm also going to say it's a treasure. It's one of the better shields in the game, especially one of the heavier ones. The damage on it is pretty nice, and the fact that it inflicts confusion, you combine that with a weapon and with some abilities that will capitalize on that, you're getting a decent bit of damage. So for a heavy tank armor set, the marble shield is nothing to sneeze at, so it is also a treasure. And as for brand, I pretty much went through the whole reasons why it's a treasure. You get that frost damage, you get chill, you get pain, it increases the frost and physical damage that they take. It is a package. It may not be the strongest one-hander in the game, but it is definitely nowhere near trash by any degree. It is a fantastic weapon, and by the time you get this weapon, it's pretty much a wrap. Like, this weapon is powerful and it does a lot, and there's no way it's trash. Alright boys, that's gonna conclude today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.